the regional director, the World Bank director, the High Commissioner, distinguished guests. Let me first welcome you to Colombo, to Sri Lanka. We consider it part of our commitment to climate change to host gatherings both at regional level as well as international level to discuss and to come to conclusions on the two issues which we face. One is adaptation and other is mitigation. In regard to mitigation, Sri Lanka is now examining how to further upgrade its meteorological organization. Last few years, both the setbacks of COVID and the setbacks of economic crisis has prevented us from investing the monies that we require. But from 2025 onwards, we will have a phased program of upgrading the meteorological network in Sri Lanka. This is but one part of what we are going to undertake in this sphere. Secondly, we realize the value of Hydromet regional network, because without a regional network, we will not be able in any way to mitigate the problems that we face in regard to climate change. As the speakers before me said, South Asia is undergoing one of the worst effects of climate change. In terms of its economic potential, to lose nearly 2% of your GDP in a continent in which, other than the smaller countries of Maldives, Bhutan and even Sri Lanka, all the others are still low-income countries, and that is about 1.8 to 1.9 billion people. Just imagine what 2% is for that. How much you lose? I know it because in January, we were faced with unexpected rain. Rain should have stopped in mid-December. Yesterday, when I was out of Colombo, I met some of the members of parliament who were describing the damage to roads, to irrigation network. Since we are still coming out of the crisis and we are undergoing debt restructuring, I have a tight budget. They have very little space. Now you can imagine the problems we have to face now. From where do we take the money and who's going to face the country? So this is why regional cooperation is important. It's not only that. We are being affected by the melting of the Himalayas. Not merely Nepal and Bhutan and Kashmir, all of us. The waters that come down from Himalayas to Ganges and Brahmaputra and then feeds into the Bay of Bengal is affecting all of us. Climate change is affecting all of us. You see, along the river Indus, the earlier Mohenjo-daro civilization, one that went out of existence as climate change. So we have first-hand knowledge, we have experience, and that's why we in Sri Lanka will support the strengthening and even building up our regional network. I would say more than collaboration, more than cooperation. How do we build up that regional network? We need that. And more than us, even Maldives, in which part of the islands may most probably go underwater. The same would apply to Seychelles. So we will give all support to all you all in the work you do and go beyond even collaborating with each other. What we need is a regional network in which all take part. Now this is in regard to climate change mitigation. We are also, the government of Sri Lanka is promoting two measures. One is the International Climate Change University. We want to establish, and we are having discussions with some other countries. We hope to have with others and also with a number of institutions to set this up. A stakeholder university, not one run by Sri Lanka. We've already set aside the land and we want to go ahead. It will be on a postgraduate basis, running a large number of courses similar to following the example of the East-West Center in Hawaii, so that large numbers can come in of officials and be trained, a postgraduate university and a training university. This, we hope, will help us in tackling climate change in our region and in Africa. Secondly, the proposal that we have made at the Dubai COP28, an important one, what we call the tropical belt. The tropical belt to be used as a carbon sink. If the tropical belt with its marshes, forests, other lands can absorb carbon, that's the best, I think the best region in the world to become a carbon sink. And what do we require? We have to ensure that there is a scheme which enables private sector firms to come into those countries and invest. That's the best way of getting investment. As I always said, no one from Finland is going to help Sri Lanka. Or for that, no one from UK is going to invest money in Mali. But if they know the climate, they are going to benefit by it, by the investments, certainly. And it's the tropical belt is not only us. in addition to it, already in IORA we are looking at the Indian Ocean. So let's look at a stretch. We'll be appointing a panel of experts to study these. And then whatever is left over, maybe we can go into a loss and damage fund. We don't have much hope of people just putting money into loss and damage fund. But let's look at what we have to do. The first would be that. Second would be debt relief for countries that are willing to invest there. And the third step should be the loss and damage fund. In this way, we will be coming out with our own programs of how we can help for climate change mitigation and adaptation. So we hope that you will have other ideas and you will also be able in your discussion to contribute to your ideas to the two main projects that we will be planning. I see some of our members are already here. Others will be coming here later on to have a discussion. But just to say thank you very much for agreeing with us to have this conference here, and we look forward to your deliberations.